All right, welcome to D&D Abridged Tavern Talks.
Hey.
Again, for this episode of Tavern Talks, you're talking with Guy in the chair, since the DM is not here. And, we are talking with Jake, also known as Clink. But today we're specifically talking with Jake in our above table interview.
Hey guys.
So, the character of Clink, how did you come up with him? What was kind of the concept that you built him into?
I was kind of going for like a Nightcrawler build.
Okay.
So, he's not a cleric, paladin.
Yeah.
He's a paladin, and he uses phase step to teleport, basically.
Yeah.
Because he's had kind of a rough startup, he's developed multiple versions of himself because he's an Eladrin. Okay, and Eladrins are Feywild elves, right? And they experience seasons, right?
Yeah.
Most of them don't change quite as frequently as he does. He changes with his mood, as opposed to others that'll much more slowly, or will just be that season for forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of a Nightcrawler build, so he can fight, but he's a religious guy, you know.
Sure. Are you, with the Eladrin, seasonal change, do you play different based on the season, or is it less strategic and it's just kind of abilities?
Well, it's
tweaking and
it depends on what kind of mood is called for the character. So, like if he's angry, he goes into summer. Something like bad happens. But if he's like happy-go-lucky or chill, he's going to be more autumn. Then each type of season gives him different face stepping, right? So it's more as a reaction to what's happening in the scene, I guess, as opposed to
more reactive than proactive.
Yeah. So it ends up being fairly interesting in that respect.
All right. The Saltmarsh group is interesting. As unknowingly, we put together a table of DMs.
Yeah, it's all former DMs.
Yes, and whatnot. People that have DM'd for our DM, oddly enough, in some form or another, whether it was, my short foray into a one-shot, or not really a one-shot, but
you've done
mini campaign.
Mini-series, yeah.
Yeah, mini-series that we might do later again for camera, but who knows. And everything else that you've run. What's your overall feelings about the other players at the table and, the group, Saltmarsh, in general?
This is the most efficient group I've ever played with, okay? And normally, you get a group and there's at least one bonehead, I'm not going to name names, but there's someone who's just over the top. And sometimes you get a bunch of them in the same group and it just goes completely left every time, right? So this group, because we all really have a more intimate knowledge of how the mechanics of the game work, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it metagaming, but it's just playing your characters well,
Yeah.
Or efficiently.
Yeah, I'd say efficient, probably. Yeah, we're definitely getting shit done.
Yeah, we get shit done faster in this group than anyone I've ever been on, to the point where I believe Greg had to bullshit a couple times to fill in time because things weren't lining up.
Right, yeah, I was you guys
are already there.
Yeah.
Shit. The other guys haven't left the dock yet.
Yeah. Not to mention, aside from that, also we're crafting it and we're running our own economy.
Yeah, there's that too.
And moving through the story.
We have a really good way to make money anywhere we go. My character did start off blacksmithing, but he ended up apprenticing blacksmithing from our resident dwarf. Yeah, there's a booming economy. We travel in just an absolute tank of a traveling. What is that thing? It's like it's not even
the Helljammer.
Yeah, the Helljammer. Like God, what a fucking beast that thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that has just made like the creativity of using the stuff like that has been what's made the group as efficient as it has. Like the arrow thing on the back of the Helljammer that doesn't miss.
Yeah.
That doesn't miss, and then we can put that thing into ludicrous speed and just haul ass down the road.
Yeah, he definitely didn't expect us to take that cart. I think. Yeah. When he first, he was like, "Oh, this is really gonna screw these guys over."
I don't know why he would take the cart. Of course, we take the fucking cart.
Well, that was
the first thing you guys did when you got in like sight of a cart. The first time you guys really played, you're like, "Oh, let me fuck up this guy on this cart," and it was with us for to this very day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but having a Phil is far different from.
Well, we didn't go the route of Phil. We went the route of Helljammer with a badass weapon on the back of the thing, which is coming so handy.
Yeah, but I mean, we got that cart. My first episode, which was episode
it was like
2.
2, I think.
Yeah, so he was like, he didn't realize, because that was the first real combat episode too.
Yeah, I think so.
That first episode where you guys were like,
something.
Yeah, the creeper where you guys are coming off the ship and everything else. That's just like, that was really a session 0, like get to know everybody.
Yeah, like figure out how it was going to go.
And then, half the table, disappeared too.
Yeah.
Which is how I How I ended up in.
I missed the finale, unfortunately, because I had to go to the ER. My back went out on me. I couldn't walk.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, teamwork's definitely a reoccurring theme. Even as we rotated in Jose 6 spins and stuff at the table, like again another DM. So I mean, it's all just everybody's firing on all cylinders. They have a certain combat strategy or whatever, being that it's a Nightcrawler build.
The thing that I like to do is
overall with this character,
either teleport my target up into the air and then drop them, or teleport something else big and heavy up into the air and drop it on them.
Yes,
that's worked out fairly well. As a teleport mechanism so far.
Yeah, I mean, fall damage doesn't require a roll to hit.
Yeah. And neither does the face step if it's the right season.
Right.
Which is nice. But that's where it becomes a little more complicated because he has to be in the right frame of mind to use certain types of teleportation. But yeah, there's that, and he's no wuss on his own. Like he's a paladin, so he can go in there and tank a little bit too. Let's see, I got a sword, or was it a dagger? I can't remember now, but you can't heal from the wounds. Rapier? Was it a rapier of healing or something like that?
Is that the sword of certain death or whatever?
Yeah, something along those lines. So, you stab something with it and that thing is never going to heal that wound.
Which I did have you stab Cell in the finale to make sure.
Oh, okay. Not coming back.
Yes.
No Gohan bullshit here.
Yeah. You definitely would have done that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we touched on it being a table full of DMs, and our DM is somebody that started DMing for us, so he's the protege. Like, what's been your take on? This is the second campaign with him at the helm. What's been your reaction to seeing him run things, being that you kind of, he learned from you somewhat, and just kind of, your take on this side of the table.
He did the one thing, or at least the one thing he got from me is that basically if you can explain it to me, I'll let it slide.
Justify.
If you can justify some kind of something to me, I'll probably let it happen. unless it's just complete and utter bullshit, and then I'll call you on that. But like, if you can get your point across to me in a way that makes sense, I'll probably let you get away with it, right?
Yeah.
So he does that. Aside from that, like, he just kind of took off and did his own thing. Like, he makes a really rich atmosphere. You know what things are in your head when you're playing it. We've upgraded our gear a bunch since then too, as far as like the tabletop goes. So you can really visualize what's going on a lot better.
We definitely have the vantage with the Salt Marsh group of not only the minis that we've acquired and everything, but everything that Brian will bring with him to really set out a battle map, which is nice. Yeah,
it's been a little spoiling. Yeah. It's been really nice to have the setup we have, and when Greg's telling the story too, you're very zoned into like this is the world. So he's good at world building. Little details and stuff. You're very keyed into what's going on and what the place is like. So that's always nice. And as far as action and stuff goes, like we've always done a pretty straightforward combat system. So that kind of is what it is. But he does, like I said, if you can justify it to him, he'll let you do it. So that allows for a lot of creativity in the combat, such as dropping things on people and hitting them with the unmissable chained on spear and then ramming them through the forest at high velocity. He's gonna let you do that stuff and just kind of sit there and go, shit. I did kind of let him do that, didn't I? But that's what makes it fun. It's more fun than being with the DM who is like super rule based and hyper restrictive on like, well, this is only 50 feet per second and you only have 30 feet per second, so we can't do that. Fall damage is this plus this equals this, and you got to take a course in physics to keep up with somebody like that, and it loses something in the perfection, And Greg kind of plays fast and loose like I did in that sense, so I think it moves the story along faster. I think it makes combat more engaging and the story as a whole more engaging. So that's been good. I'm glad he's gotten as good at it as he has.
Say there's flip into the other side. When you DM for him, is there any similarities you're seeing, or what's it like having our DM on the other side of this screen?
Well, the thing is there's a lot of in-jokes. So we have characters that have followed through old campaigns. That, like, if you weren't in those campaigns and didn't know about those stories, you're like, who the hell are these guys? And we're just sitting there snickering to ourselves.
We definitely throw in the DM lore.
Like the world that we created together. And that's something that's fun too, is like, not only did he learn from me, like we have a shared reality that we created, and all of this is at some point in time still in that shared reality. So that's been a lot of fun, having more than one DM flesh out a whole universe essentially. So like you said, we do have deep lore that if you're just joining the show, if you're just watching, just joining the group, you don't know what's going on in certain cases when we start laughing about things and stuff, but it all comes back around in the end usually. So I have noticed too that like some of his NPCs remind me a lot of some of his player characters. There's definitely personality traits that bleed through, and then occasionally they will just outright show up.
We've had more than just like the anagram.
There's been cameos, and there's been in jokes and stuff that's gone back to when we just first started playing. Just goofing around at his house. With literally this battle map. And just the handbook, and I think a handful of dice. Did we even have minis? I think I had a handful of just real basic minis or something. So it's really
become a lot more.
It's become a lot more involved.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, from the time killer during quarantine to
Yeah.
quite a production.
Yeah, we got a lot of D&D done during COVID, man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's been talking with retired Robert Patrick. Thanks for coming by.